I'm going to tell you all about the time that I got my service dog, Dallas. She's laying right here. You can't really see her. There she is. But yeah, let's just jump right into the video. If you don't already know, I have a service dog for a psychiatric disability as well as a physical disability. So my psychiatric disability is anorexia nervosa, and my physical disability is postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, or POTS. So when I started looking into getting a service dog, I was not diagnosed with POTS yet. I only had my eating disorder, and I was getting her to be a psychiatric service dog to help me with my anorexia. When I was diagnosed, I ended up going to treatment in Dallas, Texas. I started out in San Antonio and then I went to Dallas, Texas. But my mom was actually looking for something that could help me when I come home from treatment. And she thought about a therapy dog because we had therapy dogs come to the hospital so that we could pet them and love on them while we were in the hospital. At the time, we didn't really know that there was a difference between service dogs and therapy dogs, so we were just looking into getting a therapy dog. After doing some more research on therapy dogs, we found out that they were actually for other people, and we found out that service dogs are in fact for one person with a disability, and the dog is trained to perform specific tasks for that person's disability to help them. So we ended up starting to look for what kind of tasks a service dog can help me with. And we found out that there are such things as psychiatric service dogs that help people with psychiatric disabilities, such as PTSD, autism, in my case, anorexia. So we started to look at what kind of psychiatric tasks a service dog could help with somebody with anorexia. And we found out that a lot of people with anorexia benefited from their dog performing behavior interruption, anxiety alerting to different behaviors, anxious behaviors, deep pressure therapy, and panic response. And some dogs are even trained to help somebody get out of a stressful situation. So we thought, wow, those are all going to benefit me so much. Because I would oftentimes have panic attacks during meals, so most of the time it would be meals in the cafeteria at school, at a restaurant, at a family gathering, at a team dinner, or even sometimes at home when I was just really struggling. And my panic attacks are disabling to me because they prevent me from eating. So we wanted a service dog to be able to help me through a panic attack, to either help prevent one or just help me recover from one faster so that I can continue eating. Because if I do miss a meal, it might be fine the first few times, but after so many, I really can start to go into a relapse, and that's very dangerous for me. It could send me back to treatment, and that's not what I want to do. It's not good. After doing even more research about service dogs, we decided that we should talk to our doctors about it to see if they were on board with the idea. All of our doctors were on board with the idea and offered to give me a doctor's note. At the time, I thought that you had to have a doctor's note for a service dog because most programs require one, but apparently you do not have to have a doctor's note to have a service dog. You just have to be disabled, and under the ADA, disability is defined as any mental or physical illness that prevents somebody from doing daily life activities. But then it was time for us to take our next step in the process and start looking into what kind of dog do I want. And I wanted a German Shepherd. I have always loved German Shepherds, the way they look, the way they act. I like that they have that kind of more intimidating look to them, yet they're very sweet and loyal. But after doing more research, we decided that maybe a calmer tempered dog would be best for me because this is going to be my first service dog, so I wanted a dog that would be easier to work with for the first time. And we found out that one of my friend's dogs was having puppies, and this dog was a golden doodle. So we're like, wow, this is perfect. I am looking for a dog. A golden doodle was one of the options that we had come up with. So we went ahead and we put our names on the list. Now, later our names were moved up to first on the list, which was pretty perfect because there was only one dog in the litter. It was just Dallas. Like, that's it. It was just Dallas. But yeah, before Dallas was born, I wanted to like name her, and we were trying to come up with different names, and since we didn't know if she was going to be a boy or a girl at the time, we decided to come up with more gender neutral names. And my dad came up with Dallas, and I was like, oh wow, that's kind of perfect. I went to the hospital in Dallas and I'm getting her to help me with my disability. Dallas is where I got treatment, and Dallas will continue to be my treatment. So that was kind of perfect. I was really hoping for a female, a very light colored cream female, and when we found out that there was only one puppy, I was kind of nervous. I was like, oh great, I hope that she's perfect, and she was. She was perfect. She was a light colored female golden doodle. Her name is Dallas. It was honestly like, I know that we're not supposed to go through backyard breeders, and I didn't know that at the time. It's best to go through a breeder who has bred dogs for a very long time and to have really bred for health and temperament. But we didn't know that at the time, so we went through a backyard breeder and we got Dallas, and honestly, she couldn't be more perfect. I got so lucky with her. I honestly feel like God put her in my life. He picked her out for me. She was available at the time that I was looking for a dog. She was the breed that one of the breeds that I was looking for, and she was the only dog. I didn't even get a choice out of the litter because it was like he picked her for me. So that was pretty awesome. But yeah, after we picked her up, we started training her. We started housebreaking her, training her basic commands, sit down, all those fun things. We started socializing her. We got her enrolled in behavioral classes, puppy classes, so that she could get used to being around other animals, bigger distractions. She did have a very hard time paying attention in puppy class because she is very friendly with other dogs. She loves other dogs. She loves to play. She didn't bark though, which I was really proud of her that she wasn't really a barker. She didn't bark at other dogs. So that was pretty great. But yeah, she really excelled in puppy class, and we ended up putting her through a therapy dog class because that was the highest level of training that my town offered after all the levels in the puppy classes. And she was enrolled in that class. We didn't take it for her to become a therapy dog. We actually didn't even take the test because she wasn't even old enough to take the test yet to become a service or a therapy dog. But yeah, she went through that class, which allowed us to do more public access socializing. And after that, we went to a trainer kind of out of town a little bit, and he did service dog training, so he helped us with our task training with more advanced service dog behavioral skills that she would need to know. Hey, oh, are you getting comfortable? But yeah, after that, I was able to do most of the training on my own. It was still very expensive to pay for all the classes and the dog and all the health stuff that had to go into that. But that is the story of how I got and trained my first service dog. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!